In this video, I'm going to teach you how to get your first date from cold approach, even if you're nervous, inexperienced, or just don't think it's possible. I know this works because it's already worked for over 200 of my clients. In fact, when you get good at this, you can start going on more dates from cold approach than you can even count.
Since working with Kristian, I have genuinely been on more dates through cold approach than I can even count.
Here's the thing, dude. Most guys fail at getting dates from cold approach, not because they're ugly, but because they simply don't know the real steps to make it happen. But the good news is, getting your first date from cold approach is completely doable, and I'm gonna break it down into 5 actionable steps you can start using today. When most guys go out to cold approach, they go out with the intention to approach. And this might sound fine, but it's actually the reason why you're not getting dates. Because if your only intention is to approach, then that's all you'll do. You'll walk up, say hi, have a quick chat, and then walk away with your dick in your hands. But if you want to get a date, then your intention from the moment you step out the door needs to be exactly that: to get a date. Not to warm up, not to practice, not to be social, but a real outcome-driven intention. This is exactly how my 50-year-old client Freddie got his first date from cold approach. For years, he'd convinced himself that he was too old, that cold approach was a young man's game, and that the women wouldn't take him seriously. But the real problem was, every time he went out with the intention to just approach. And his result did not change until his intention did. Instead of going out to approach, he went out to get a date. And within just 1 week of making that shift, a 50-year-old guy who thought his dating life was over got his first date from cold approach. This is the power of setting the right intention. Every guy who's ever come to me and says, "Kristian, cold approach does not work," they all have the exact same problem. They're not approaching enough women. See, they think they're trying, they think they're putting themselves out there. But when you look at the numbers, they're approaching 1, maybe 2 women a week, and their approaches lack the appropriate intention. Because here's the harsh reality: you could be funny, attractive, charming, well-dressed, it doesn't matter. If you're only approaching 1 to 2 women every week and you lack the correct intention when you're going out, then you're leaving your dating life up to pure luck. And that's why I suggest 20 approaches per week minimum, with the intention of getting dates. Because understand, the more you open, the more you close. But the problem is, most guys are simply not opening enough. Because here's what happens when you do that consistently. You get sharper, your confidence grows, you stop overthinking, and guess fucking what? You start going on dates. And this is exactly how my client Rentaro went from 0 dates to 3 dates with 3 different women in just 2 weeks.
After 2 weeks, I've already been on date with 3 different girls. The sensation I've got after putting myself in an uncomfortable situation, then achieving what I promised to do, is insane.
We didn't overhaul his personality, we didn't reinvent his fashion, we didn't give him some magic cheat code. We simply increased the number of women he was approaching each week. Most guys think that the goal of a cold approach is to get the number, but the guys who actually get results know the truth. The date starts inside the conversation. Once you've connected, once there's a vibe, once she's smiling, mention a specific date idea. Not, "we should hang out sometime." That's way too vague. Instead, say, "I want to take you to my favorite wine bar this Saturday." Why does being specific about the date work so well? Because people are less likely to bail on plans they've already committed to. And this is why you'll notice in my cold approach conversations, I invite women to a specific location.
Well, it was lovely to meet you.
It was lovely to meet you as well. The reason I came over to you is because when you're in London, next time that you're here, what I want to do is I want to take you to my favourite restaurant.
Okay, what's your favourite restaurant?
Have you heard of a place called Daphne's?
I have, yeah.
Have you actually?
It's good. Yeah, I have
Really?
heard of it. It does.
You know what's special about it though?
What?
Oh, you don't know the history?
No.
Oh shit, it's Princess Diana.
Right.
It was her favourite restaurant.
Oh wow.
So if it's good enough for her,
yeah,
it's good enough for us, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so when you're back, that's where I want to take you.
Okay.
So do you use WhatsApp?
I do, yeah.
This is how my client Luke went from getting numbers that went nowhere to going on 4 dates in 3 days.
I think I went on 4 separate dates in them 3 days. And I had the opportunity to go on one more, but I just couldn't fit it in the night. So before my immersion and going to Barcelona, I would have just had no idea that was possible.
And no, we didn't change his looks, we didn't change his personality, we didn't change his opener. All we changed was getting Luke to be more specific about where he wanted to take these women. Here's something that almost every guy gets wrong, and it's one of the simplest fixes you can make. Text her within 2 hours of getting her number. Why? Because right after the approach, the energy is still fresh. Yeah, she remembers your face, your vibe, the emotions that she felt. But if you wait a day, 2 days, 3 days, if you think you're being cool or mysterious by delaying your text, then what usually happens is the magic of the moment starts to fade. And by the time you message her, she's already thinking, who the fuck is this? So when you text within 2 hours, you're not being needy, you're maintaining momentum. And this small tweak completely changed the game for my client Baltus. He had a full-on girlfriend experience within just 2 days of working with me, all because he approached and then locked in the date within 2 hours of getting her number.
This woman was so beautiful, so smart, very ambitious, very intelligent girl. She was just all over me straight from the start. I'm still in contact with her. This woman she's just amazing. She's great. And this gave me like an undiscovered confidence that turned me into like a social beast.
Have you ever had a conversation with a woman where everything just clicked, but then you walked away and the moment was gone? Well, what if instead of walking away, you kept the momentum going? What if the approach itself became the date? Because what if instead of getting her number, instead of trying to schedule something later, what if instead you just went for the date right there in the moment? Here's why going for the instant date works so well. When you're in the middle of a great conversation, the chemistry is real. Yeah, she's engaged, she's smiling, her buying temperature is at its highest. So rather than breaking that momentum and hoping it returns later, you invite her on a date right there. You can say something simple like, hey, I'm about to grab a coffee, you should come join me. This is probably the easiest way to get your first date from cold approach. It's going out with the intention of getting a date and then inviting women onto the date right there in the moment. And here's the best part. When you go for instant date, you completely bypass the biggest killer of the modern dating game, flaking. But here's the thing, even with these 5 steps, we've only just scratched the surface in this video. If you're someone who doesn't just want one date, but more dates than you can even count, then listen closely. I've put together a 10-hour free course that takes you from beginner to advanced, step by step, even if you have lots of anxiety, 0 experience, and no idea what to say. Simply click the video that's just appeared on screen to start watching my 10-hour free course right now.